This is a PowerPoint presentation, but before you go, have you seen any of these videos?
やめろ、わらわら。耐えろ、耐えるんじゃ。
よっしゃー、やったー、抜けた。
おめでとう。
おっしゃー。
Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but you may have noticed that last song. That song is actually from BMS Freedom Dive, and you may recognize it from other games like Osu, Sound Vortex. Almost every rhythm game you can think of has Freedom Dive in it. What, like Geometry Dash? Um, so if you're interested on where that song is actually from, and like if it's actually fun, well, first of all, it is fun. And that game is called BMS. So in this video, I'm gonna be showing you how to get started with BMS, how to introduce yourself to BMS, and how to get it set up, and how to improve in it. So basically, the ultimate BMS guide. So here you go. So you're completely new. You don't know what the heck a BMS is. So BMS is based off Konami's Beatmania series. It consists of 7 keys and a turntable, which is this red scratch line, this red line here. BMS refers to the song file or the chart file of these songs, but most people refer to, when they say BMS, they refer to the game. If you like rhythm games, this is one of the best ones you could play. It's really fun. It's really good. Let's go to the next slide. Why BMS? Of course, it's based off 2DX, Beatmania 2DX, which is very popular in Japan. So it has some merit. It's completely community ran. So not only the game clients are made by the community, the songs, charts, almost everything is almost always original to BMS. So you will not be getting like any copyright problems or like any of those issues, unlike other games. It's challenging. There's a high skill ceiling. So if you like a challenge, this game is really good for that. Improvement is driven by goals and not winning. So it's not like a competitive game like Valorant or CS:GO or whatever, League of Legends. It's not about competing. It's not about winning. It's about improving yourself. So I like to use the analogy of like a gym, even though you won't get jacked in this game, but it helps train that part of the brain. And it's a friendly community. Like everything's community ran, so of course it's gonna be a friendly community. You won't be shamed in in any way for any reason. Yeah, and of course it's fun. Okay, you're interested, so how can I try this game? Well, since BMS is based off 2DX, I would first try locating a BMS, I'm sorry, a 2DX cab, something like this. You can use Xenius, Vanish, Xenius iVanisher.com. This is a popular arcade tracking website with a lot of arcades that people like put into. Let me just show you. So you go here. This is not all the games you can, yeah. So these are all the arcades in the world, and you just go to this link right here. I'll put in the description. I'll put all the links in the description, by the way. You go down here, you select Beat Me in 2DX, you click search, and these are all the 2DX cabs. So let's say you live in Bangkok, Thailand. Go down here. 3 arcades, 3 cabs here, 1 cab here. So if you happen to live near arcade cabinet, that's great. I'll start with 2DX first. It can be a little bit challenging. A lot of people say that it's hard, but it really isn't hard. If you go to 2dx.org, there's basically an in-depth guide of everything you need to know to play the game. So if you like the game, you think it's fun, BMS will be useful if you want to play this game at home and improve at 2DX. So let's say you aren't as lucky to have a arcade near you. Well, you might have to go straight to buying a controller since BMS is based off the arcade game. A lot of people use a controller at home where you can play. These can get really expensive. The average cost would be around $300. Might be cheap for you, but expensive for most people to drop on the game. You also expect it to maintain the controller, so there are gonna be issues. It might not work out of the box. It's just some basic wiring and things like that. It's like not that hard. You probably won't need to do any like fancy stuff like soldering, but if any issues do arise, you do need to fix it yourself. So there is some kind of maintenance, and it's pretty loud too. So if you're in a apartment or something where the walls are pretty thin, you probably don't want to have this because it's pretty loud, unless you don't care about your neighbors. And yeah, it's pretty expensive, but $300 is like if you want it new. So there's a secondhand market, which I would recommend. You can go to various forums and stuff and look around, ask around for if anyone's selling theirs. You could probably get a good one secondhand around like $200 maybe. Depends. You could also just DIY one yourself, make one yourself. If you want to do that route, you can go to cons and stuff website, and they have some pretty good guides on controllers, on how to make your own controller. Now, I could go a little bit more in depth into controllers because there's all types of things you know when buying one, such as is it full size like this one, a arcade accurate controller, or is it a smaller size? For BMS, I'll touch on this real quickly. For BMS, it doesn't really matter which size it is, but if you want to transfer it to, if you want your skills to transfer to 2DX, you probably do want an arcade size controller. And for if you're just gonna be playing BMS exclusively, a smaller turntable sizes might be actually better. If you don't want a controller or you can't get a controller, well, there's always keyboard. There's a lot of keyboard players out there. I personally would not recommend it, but it is a option. And if you just want to get started following this guide, then just go with this for now. Just keep in mind that your keyboard skill, if you ever do get a controller in the future, would not transfer to a controller. So be ready to start over if you want to try this game with a keyboard and maybe switch over to controller later. But it's still a viable way to play the game. There's a lot of top keyboard players. There's no shame in playing keyboard, any of that. Setting up BMS. Okay, W's guide, setting up BMS or beatoraja is your best resource in doing this. Link will be in the description. Actually do that right now. I have it open. So you'll find the beatoraja what is it, setup guide. So you would just follow this. If you have Java, you can go here, setting up BMS or setting up beatoraja with Java. Download Java if you haven't already. I have it downloaded, so you can skip that. Just you can download the game from here. So it will be this first link right here, the first link. Once you click it, it'll download. I have it downloaded right here, so you can just go here. So it'll be a zip file. You can just get this. You open the zip file, you drag it, extract it to wherever you want. It'll go ahead and extract that. So while it's extracting, or while you're downloading, you can go over here, apply a UTF, or I think it's called a locale fix. There's basically some like weird bugs if you don't do this, so just go ahead, click this first link, go to the GitHub page. You want to download the .bat file, the first one at least. Download it, download to your location, and you have it right here. Now, you have your game right here unzipped. You just drag this into here, and then it'll have it right there. If it already has the .bat file inside, just replace it with the new one. So once you have that, just double click the bat file. You can run enemies, not virus. And there you go, here's the game. You can make a shortcut for this. I would recommend making a shortcut for this. Just create a shortcut and then put it in your desktop. I'm not gonna do that because I already have one, but yeah, go ahead and do that. Let's say you start the game and you have no idea what you're doing. How do you play? Well, having a playstyle is the most important part of the game. A playstyle is basically just having your fingers in a certain position to hit a certain key. So like for example, this one, the one I would recommend is 1048. Would be like this. For the last finger, you can either hit it with your pinky or your ring finger. The pinky is more common, but if you find the ring finger more comfortable, say you have like bigger hands or something or whatever, then go ahead and do that. But so this is 1048 right here. Your first instinct might just be like hitting the keys with whatever finger you want, so like freeform kind of, but it's really not optimal. The most optimal way is to play like this. So just memorize this format, practice out with a controller that you may or may not have. If you play on keyboard, then this will not apply to you, but for keyboard you can just rebind the keys to whatever feels most intuitive for you. Okay, for scratching. So if you're on a controller, so on controller, we'll get to keyboard players in a second, but for controllers, hitting the turntable can be kind of complicated. There are two ways to do it. You're hitting it with a pinky, so like the last two pictures here, or hitting it with your wrist. like the first picture. Pinky in this has like different pros and cons. Generally, Pinky is better for scratch heavy chotes, because it gives you more control and it's just easier to do for scratching. But wristing has a benefit of still being able to scratch, but not leaving out any of the keys like last two here. So it's kind of complicated to get hang of, but just keep playing the chotes and then you'll figure it out. As a beginner, which one you should use? Pinky is the recommended way to start playing. It's probably more intuitive than wrist scratching, honestly. But at some point, you might need to also it might be better to wrist scratch. So once you get into more key heavy charts where you need to both scratch and cover the keys, it might be worth trying out. So reading for beginners, it can be kind of overwhelming having so many keys to think of. Like if you come from 4 key or 4 key mania or whatever, it can be kind of daunting to play with 7 keys. But there's a simple way to think of it. For controller players, it would just be the bottom row. You can see in the picture, bottom row would be the white notes, and the top row would be the blue notes. So if you just think of it like that, you split it up between the blue notes and the white notes. It is actually really intuitive. For keyboard players, it's a little bit less intuitive. If you're using a layout like this, which I think a lot of people use, it would be a ring and index finger for the right notes, and the thumb and middle finger for the blue notes, and pinky for scratches. Um, Reading is better to think of it as white notes and blue notes instead of 7 keys. But before I played BMS, I tried 7 key Mania, and it was really difficult. I just didn't understand how to read the game. But BMS, even though it's actually harder because it's one extra lane, it's harder than 7 key, but it's way more intuitive if you think of it like this. So you have to like when you first start, you have to manually think of which note to hit with which finger, but at some point, once you keep doing it, you will memorize it just by muscle memory, and you won't have to think about it. It'll just be automatic. So okay, last thing is scroll speed. For scroll speed, there's no really right way. So if okay, let's assume you don't know, like you haven't played any rhythm games before. So what scroll speed is basically it changes how fast the notes move visually. So it does not make the song faster. It does not make the notes like the timing windows any stricter or easier. It's just to help you like visualize it easier. So the scroll speed might be too high, and to tell if it's too high, if you find that there's like too many notes on screen to handle, assuming you're not playing like a difficult chart, you can increase the scroll speed, and it will space out the notes so that it's easier to identify like how to hit the notes. And obviously, if it's too fast when you can't even react to note in time, or you can react to it, but it's not like it like messes up your accuracy. There's no best scroll speed. It's just whatever makes you feel comfortable. If you can play with it, that's good enough. Basically, there's no best one. Feel free to adjust it. Like it's gonna like unlike other games, it's not as important as like you need to learn one scroll speed and one scroll speed only. You can adjust it whenever, and it's not a big deal if you adjust it. There's not that much muscle memory into it. So even when you're playing for accuracy, you feel free to change the scroll speed. For BMS, pay attention to the green number. The green number represents like how long it'll take for the note to reach the bottom of the screen. So if it's a high number, like 800, it would take, I think it's like 800. I think the number means like frames. So it would take like 800 frames to reach the bottom of the screen, compared to, let's say 100, it'll only take 100 frames for the note to go from the top screen to the bottom screen. So higher number means slower and lower number means faster. Okay, let's stop. So we just covered playstyles, reading, but now that we covered that, I want you to just like stop right now, and if you have the game installed, just try it right now. So first of all, before you actually play the game right here, you do want to go back to the launcher right here and change some settings. So let's do full screen. Some people play windowed, but depends on what you like. Resolution, let's just put it HD. VSync, do you want, I mean, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but whatever, it's up to you. The BGA or the background animation, um, you can set this off and on in the game, so just leave it on for now. mislayer dilation. What the mislayer is basically like an image that will appear when you miss. It's kind of distracting, so you can leave it on, but if you find it distracting, uh, just set this to 0 and it will not appear. VGA expand, just keep it. If you were to just play right now, there will be no songs because you need to go to this resource tab right here. So let's go resource. Click this plus button. Okay, go to your songs folder. Okay, if you don't have a songs folder, then let's back up right now to the beatoraja guy right here. Somewhere in here there will be some downloads for songs if I can find it. Oh, here, downloading songs. Okay, you want, unlike other games like, sorry I keep comparing it to Osu, but unlike other games like Osu, um, you usually don't download shows like individually. You download packs. So here's some packs right here. You can download the BMS Dota pack. I think it's just a zip file. You download one of these. Download the latest one actually. Unzip it and then put it in any folder. It can be any location. Doesn't be in the game. So just download it somewhere. Keep it safe. There's one I do want to recommend. Here. I'll actually go to here. Uh, Kyoko. Um, this Google Drive right here. It's basically packs for difficulty tables. And we'll cover difficulty tables later, but for right now, I do want you to download 2 of them, which would be BMS. Oh, I'm sorry, it's right here. BMS. Oh, sorry, difficulty table package. I want you to download Satellite plus Starlight. Yeah. So download this pack right here. Just download all of these, I think. Yeah, download all of these. Put them in, unzip them. Put them just put them in one folder, and then download the insane table. Insane. Download all of these. Put them in one folder, and then that's the only 2 I would recommend for now. So get those downloaded. So let's say I did download them. I have them right here. Well, this is not actually my folder. This is like a bunch of sample songs. So I was back here. I clicked the plus button. I would go to the place I downloaded them, and I would just click the whole folder, select folder. You don't select each individual one. You just select the whole folder, which all the BMS is in, and then it will have it right here. Now we can actually play the game. I turned the sound off, but there should be sound for you. First thing you notice that none of the controls are working. Actually, some of the controls are working, but first of all, press 6 on your keyboard, the number 6. It'll bring you to the keybind menu. You're on 5 key right now, so just click the right arrow on your keyboard. Go to 7 key. Now, if you play on keyboard, this is where you select your keybinds. Press 7 if you're on keyboard, and for controller, press 8, which I'm on controller, so I'm gonna do. Now, key 1, key 2, key 3, it's just gonna be from left to right. So, key 2 being the even numbers are gonna be the black notes, and the even numbers or the odd numbers, sorry, it's gonna be the white notes. So just gonna be top, bottom, top, bottom. Alright, there we go. Forward scratch is gonna be your you just turn your turntable forward, and then reverse scratch is gonna be backwards for your turntable. Start select if you have them. If your turntable isn't working, then look at your controller's manual if you have one. I don't know, there could be a lot of reasons why it's not working. You can leave a comment below if you're stuck, like if you need any troubleshooting, I'll respond to you, but yeah, okay. So you have it set up, now we can play. Now my turntable moves the song select, which is nice. So I can go to my songs folder, I can click any key and hear my songs. Okay, perfect. Now you can actually, if you want, you can just play the game right now. Yeah, I would recommend playing a few songs. Okay, this is way too fast. So let's slow it down. You can click, say on the game screen, hold your start button, just hold it, and then click the right key or the blue keys to make it faster, like this, and the right keys to make it slower. So you want to make it slower. Let's say, okay, this is way better. Um, yeah, so like this. You obviously want to play easier song than this, because it's kind of hurt. So let's go back. Um, you can look at the difficulty numbers on the side. See, it's gonna be like 1 to 12. These can be kind of misleading though. So I would just use, if you look down here, you can find the note counts. So this one would have 400, this one would have 100, this one 1000. So find one around the 100, 200 range. If you're like completely beginner, find the one uh that you like. So let's play this one. And then yeah, just play a few songs. Find some songs that you like. Find some easy songs. Oh wait, it didn't save. Okay, let's go back. If your scroll speed doesn't save, then don't worry. There's another way to change the scroll speed. You, what you want to do is hold Start and select. If you're on keyboard, it's gonna be whatever you binded it to. So here we go. Notes display time. You want that to be a higher number. So we're just gonna increase it right now. Oh wait, this might be good. Maybe a little bit more. Oh, you can hold it. Okay, you can hold the button. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Here you go. So now you can actually play some songs. Uh, if you search up BMS of Fighters, those are all BMS songs. So, oh, BOF for short. It's a song contest where a lot of BMS artists make songs for the game, make shirts for the game. Um, so you actually might know some already, like Freedom Dive. Oh no, actually I don't know. Yeah, you might know some uh Breath of Fighter. Wait, not sorry, not Breath. BMS of Fighter songs already. So this is way too. So just find some songs you like. Go ahead and download them. You can download individually. That's fine too. Find some songs you like. Just start hitting buttons. It's actually this is how I started playing the game. It's pretty fun. Okay. Um. So what your goal is to learn, for now at least. Your goal is to learn to hit the buttons like with muscle memory, right? So let's go to any song here. If you're using the playstyle I mentioned before, it should be pretty quick. You just learn if you get to when you get to the point where you can hit the buttons, like with just muscle memory, right? Like you don't even have to think about blue notes, white notes. Well, maybe you do, but once you feel comfortable with the buttons and the maybe the turntable not so much, because it does take some time to learn. But once you get used to the gameplay, then you're ready for the next step. Okay, so what are all these settings I have? Well, the first one I point out is the lane cover and lift. So what the lane cover is, if you go in a game or in a song, so the lane cover is actually this thing up here. If you hold start and then you turn the turntable, you can adjust this lane cover. For now you can leave it. This is a pretty good size, but once you get into once your reaction time gets better, you can slowly decrease this turntable. Oh, sorry, not this lane cover. You can also use the arrow keys the down arrow to adjust it. So what this does is it helps like concentrate your vision on a single point. So you can double click the stop button to disable the lane cover. And this is kind of big, so it's kind of like hard to focus on where to look because it's all over the place. So turning this on will help concentrate um your vision. You also have lift. Lift is basically lane cover, but for the bottom, I guess. So to enable lift, you do have to, I think, can you enable it? Yeah. Oh yeah, you can. So you hold start and select at the same time, and then you can click lift cover right here. Let's increase this a little more. Okay. So what lift does is basically it lifts the playfield slightly higher. So if your screen is kind of low, you can boost it up a little bit. And to adjust this, you just turn off the lane cover by double clicking select. Oh, yeah, also, and then you turn the turntable like a lane cover. Um, so I'm gonna increase this, and I'm gonna turn this back on. And this is pretty good size. If it's a little bit too small, you can increase it however you like. So it's all personal preference. It's all up to you. Oh yeah, by the way, if it is too fast, like if you do increase the lane cover, you do have to decrease the scroll speed because you have less time to react to notes. So just pay attention to the green number, then you'll be fine. For example, if you like 500, 500 or whatever, well, 400. So if you like 500 green number, then make sure that when you adjust the lane cover, it also matches 500. I think it should be automatic, but yeah. Random. Okay, here you go. Random. So what random does is it basically shuffles the lanes of a chart. So for example, if you look at this second row or second column, it may stay the same. It may like shift over to the third column, may shift to the fifth column, whatever, and it'll just randomize the order of the nodes. Not, I mean, order of the lanes. So this is this is actually a very good tool to practice or to learn the game, because what it does is basically if you play a chart over and over and over again, it's gonna randomize the song each time, and you play something different. You want to avoid playing the same thing over and over again because it does not help you at all. So this will help avoid that. So I would say you do need to have this option on if you want to like improve at all in this game. To do that, you can just go here, hold start, and you have all these options here. Let's do, here you go, this is the first button, so just random. You can click the button to cycle through everything. So you just want to click random, and then you're good. It randomizes the notes. It doesn't really matter when you do this. Like, you don't need to wait until you get into like level 10s or whatever to turn it on. Just turn it on as soon as you can. Forget about it, and it'll help you improve. Now, this will make, especially if you're still learning how to scratch, it will make some patterns like awkward or difficult to hit, but that's actually good because you do want to struggle and learn how to hit those patterns in the future. So yeah, just keep it on. It will be difficult. It can actually make chuds easier or harder depending on which kind of random you get, depending on luck. But it's not cheating. Okay, I'm gonna bring up Osu again. In Osu, it deranks your score, so you can't actually use random in Osu. And I think that's true. Actually, don't fact check me on that, but I'd argue that's why it's harder to improve in Osu than in BMS. But in BMS, random is not cheating. It's like almost accepted universally. Don't feel bad if you like feel like you cheated a clear because you got a lucky random. Don't worry. I think most tables like ranking systems account for random, like the easiest random. So it's not cheating. It's part of the game. It's the game was designed to play. Here you go. So easy gauge. So if you notice when you're playing, the host bar on the bottom, that's your gauge. The different gauges. So if you hold start again, you have, okay, what the heck happened? Okay, you can switch between the screen put, assist easy, easy, normal, hard, etc. The most common ones are easy, normal, hard. Mostly easy and normal. I mean, it's like easy and hard. The difference between these gauges is that assist easy to normal, um, the clear condition is getting to like a certain percentage. So, like I think 80% for easy and normal, and then 70% for assist easy. So that's a clear condition. For hard and above, the cleared condition is like it's basically a health bar. So if you reach 0, you die. So the clear condition is reaching the end of the song. Yeah, the most common gauge is easy because it like pushes like the max difficulty you can play. If you do hard, you're gonna be playing easier songs like that are too easy for your skill level, honestly. So you do want to play on the easy gauge, train on more complex patterns. So most games you think accuracy is a fundamental that you have to like train from the very beginning. But in BMS you don't have to train accuracy early. I actually recommend that you try to push harder songs instead of trying to hit easy songs more accurately. So that's why I do recommend easy clear. For now at least, hard clears are a waste of your time, in my opinion. You can always go back and train accuracy once you do learn how to play the hard songs, but it is more important to push your difficulty. Although you shouldn't train accuracy, you shouldn't ignore it either. Make sure like always try to hit as accurate as you can. Don't just think, oh, I hit it, I'm good. No, try to get the grades and P grades. At the end of a song, you should see a ratio of P grades to grades. You want to push that ratio higher and higher. You can use slow and easy sections. So a lot of charts in the middle of them, they just have like a break section where it's not that many notes and you can rest your hands a little bit. You should be using those sections as a way to practice your accuracy. So, for example, if it's just like one or two notes, try to act like to get like a perfect clear on that section. So in general, don't ignore it, but don't train it. Push higher difficulty instead of training accuracy. At least in the beginning. Yeah. It's better to push difficulty and then go back than to train act from the start. Alright, offset. BMS is key sounded, so there's only visual offset. Auditory offset, audio offset doesn't work since it's key sounded. If you're finding yourself hitting early or late, change the offset first, and then change your scroll speed, and lane cover. You can use auto offset for that to find the perfect offset for you. So let's go back to here. You can find offset judge timing on the bottom here. If you hold start and select, which I'm doing right now, you can adjust this. The second one on the bottom is auto offset, so let's turn it on and let's see what my offset is. You want to find a song that you are like kind of good at, but like not complete too easy. Because if it's too easy, you're gonna hit early, and if it's too hard, you're gonna hit late. So find one in between. See what your offset is. I think it's good. Play through the whole song, of course, but I'm just giving an example. So my offset family to this is -5. Was that what I set before? I don't know. But use offset. Don't feel bad for having. Okay, if you have your scroll speed really high, like like this. Oops. Let's say like you play like this. This is something like this is around what I use, right? So let's say you play like this. It's a little bit fast, but offset will compensate for that. If you find this comfortable, right, which a lot of people do, if you find this comfortable, then go ahead and stick with this like scroll speed, and just like have the offset be really high. So if you see like here, my offset's really high. My offset when I regularly play is like 100, about like 90 or 80, even up to 100 positive. So don't feel bad for having a high offset. Find the lane cover first, and then find the scroll speed, and then find the offset. That's the order you should be changing things in. Also another note is that you can just leave auto offset on. That's also something you just do. Usually after you find offset, you can just leave it off and play it like if you like a consistent offset. But if you like having auto offset on because you don't like sometimes the songs are miscalibrated or whatever reason, or you just that day you just feel like hitting early, you can just leave it on the whole session, and that's also viable too. Yeah, just don't feel pressure to stick to zero offset. I know when I first started saying I wanted to stick to zero offset, but then at some point you gotta switch, like you gotta change it. And also don't feel bad for having extremely high offset. It might be an issue if you want to play 2DX2, since there's like a cap on that, I think, but it's not really that bad. A lot of top players play with really high offset, so don't feel bad for that. Okay, so next is skin. How can I optimize my skin? So yeah, if you're following along with me right now, you're on the default skin. It's pretty good, honestly, but you should be switching to a different skin. So the skin I do recommend is Simple Play. So let's go to the beatoraja guide I had earlier. Here we go. If you go back to this guide, you go to find skins. List of beatoraja skins. There's a bunch of here. Find Simple Play. Simple Play. You can also there's also some song select. This is one I would also recommend. M select. Just for the song select. So you can change the song select skin and the play skin to like different skins. So if you want to download this, but for now let's just stick with Simple Play. So go to this Google Drive, download it of course. So I have it download here. Just go to zip file, find Simple Play Simple. Okay, I have a new window. Let's go to so Simple Play Simple. Open up your beatoraja install. Find the skin folder. It should be the first one. Oh, not the first one, but like in the first layer. Simple Play Simple. Just drag and drop. Easy as that. It should extract. So once it's done, you can go back to your game. You don't have to close it, by the way. Click F12, and this will bring you to the skin select. On default, you're on 7 key, which is basically the play skin. So click these arrow keys, and then you switch to the simple, and then that's really it. If you had downloaded M select from earlier, you can go to music select and switch that on to whatever it is. But yeah, so you have simple play now. Just click exit or escape. Find a song, and if you notice, it will be different. Yeah. Now, perk of this is that it's really customizable. So it's really clean. This is why I recommend the skin. It's pretty clean. It's very readable. Um. So some other optimizations for the skin would be go back to F12. So you have some options here. The ones I would look at is lane, glow. You go to key beam. So the key beam is the flash that plays. At some point I would turn this just turn it off because it's kind of distracting. It makes it kind of hard to read. Notes, keep it on beat. You might find simple O2 if you're a keyboard player. You might find simple O2 better since it makes the middle note yellow, corresponding to the keyboard. So, but if you're on controller, just keep it beat. What else? Bomb. Bomb is like the flash that like plays when you hit a note on the bottom. I like it off. A lot of people like it on. Of course, all personal preference. Okay, judge is like the judge text. We can keep it default. And yeah, I don't get too specific with it, but just mess with these settings over here on the bottom. I usually just turn everything off. Judge line. Ooh, actually keep that on. And this is something I would play with. So here you see. Oh, here you go. Yeah. Wait, the key beam is still on. What the heck? But yeah, this is something I would play with. Yeah, so feel free to experiment with that. Find what's comfortable for you. Another thing I would like to mention is the note width. So if you go back to the song, you might find like the notes are thin. I mean, for me it looks thin. For you it's normal, but yeah. It is better to make the notes a little bit thicker, right? A little bit higher. So to do that, it's not in the settings. So what you have to do is go to your skin install, simple, play simple. Okay, so to adjust the width of your nodes, you will go to customize, find settings here, settings folder, click 7 keys, and then it'd be default one player. Alright, so here we go. Um, I'm using VS Code. I can use Notepad too to edit a Lua file, but find a way to edit the Lua file and then find here. What you do want to change is change these. So don't change the width. Don't mess with the lane width. Mess with the node width. So let's see what this does. So if you go to the F12 menu, just exit out. It should update automatically. So let's see what this looks like. It should still look pretty wide. Yeah. Let's see if the nodes are fixed. Yeah. So here you go. This is pretty like ridiculous right now, but you can make it. You can like tone it down a bit, of course. Um, yeah, it's pretty funny. Um, yeah, find something that's comfortable for you. Um, just to know that if you do change the height of the nodes, it's gonna make if you play 2DX, it's gonna make it a little bit harder to play 2DX, like to transfer, since 2DX you can't change the height of the nodes, but that's a necessary evil you wanna get good at this game. Well, I guess you don't need to do this if you want to get it, but it does help. It does help a lot. So yeah, that's skins. Let's go back to the slideshow. Alright, next. What other things should you set up? Tables. You remember way back in the slideshow, we mentioned tables. You downloaded like 2 packs for it, and these are the tables. So tables are basically just like a list of charts, categories, and difficulties, like I said here. There's different tables. Sometimes like they're just general like difficulty tables, and sometimes they're for like specific skills such as scratch. So if you want like a scratch heavy, if you want to play scratch heavy chodes, you'd find a table that specializes in scratch heavy chodes. Tables I would recommend starting out with is Stardust and Starlight. Each table has a little icon or abbreviation to different like to refer to. So Stardust uses this little symbol, and Starlight also Starlight uses that. So to find, I would go back to the GitHub page here. Let's find tables. Tables. Find the two I listed, which would be Starlight and Stardust. Here you go. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. Uh, so you can go to the page, go here, right click and copy link. Let's close the game. You want to go to the launcher for this. Yeah, just open up your game. Here. Now, go to your table tab. Oh no, it's actually going to be in resources. So right now it has a bunch of default tables actually. Honestly, I would just delete all of these with clicking, highlighting one and pressing the minus sign. Um, Honestly, don't think you need this. Yeah, you don't need this. Probably. You can always put them back later. So now you've done that, you have the link you copied. Go here, plus, there you go. Let's add the other one too. Go to Starlight, copy link, add that. You also want to add the insane table, which is a so in the satellite table. So let's, if I can find it. Oh, here you go. So let's that, add that, and then the stow satellite. You're gonna be starting with the Starlight and satellite table, but eventually you're gonna move. You can move up to Starlight. Load new tables. So once you add in the tables, you need to load it. So let's do that. Hopefully it doesn't take so long. Okay, I think we're back. Okay, here we go. So now you see the table should be in green, and these are the tables. I think it's missing insane. I forget. Oh, it's not loaded. It should load for you. So if it is, if it works. It should work on your end. So yeah, here's the tables. You want to start with Stardust. So the numbers represent the difficulties. So up to 13, Stardust. Once you can play that, you can go to Starlight. And once you're done with Starlight, you can go to Satellite. So that's progression. So oh, if only I have some songs. So yeah, you would if you downloaded the pack, you would probably have most of these, but I don't have the pack right now, so yeah. So just play the difficulty that you want, and yeah, and that's how you get tables. If you download the pack, you probably won't have all the. You'll probably have some missing songs. You don't need all of them. Don't worry about it. You probably have enough to get by for now, so don't worry about having all the songs. It's not necessary. Alright, so let's talk about internet rankings. So the internet rankings are basically just like servers that can like track scores and like you can track your progression on or see how you compare to other players. So the popular one is Mocha Repository. So this is actually the same place you download beatoraja. It has its own internet ranking. It's all in Japanese though, and I've never used it before. So if you don't speak Japanese, I would recommend bokutachi.xyz. This is the one I use. It has some pretty good features. You can vibe with me here if you'd like. Yeah, so to get this set up, just make a login and it should guide you through it. Um, you should find this page. I think when you make a new account, you'll find this page at some point. Select BMS. You want to install LO2 Raja, Lunatic Wave 2 Raja. But what this does is basically it mimics the timings, like the judgment timings and the all that kind of stuff of Lunatic Wave 2, the other BMS client, and just follow these instructions, get it set up. If you have any questions, you can use the Discord. Yeah, once you get this set up and all that, you can have all these features. You can see like what scores you had and all that. Okay, so we've covered all of these settings and stuff. It probably took a while to get set up, but once you're done, you're basically done. You don't need to touch it anymore. It's all finished. Keep playing now. The settings will depend on your personal preference, so feel free to experiment. Find what you like. So just feel free to change, like be open to different things, experiment. You don't lose from anything from experimenting with your settings. So find what you like. Yeah. Setup does take a while, but once you're there, it's you don't have to worry about it. Now, next section we'll cover theory and general tips for improvement. This is gonna be the last section. Okay, how do you improve? The 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 main question. Alright, so thing to know is BMS is a reading game. It's all gonna be about how well you can read. You're never gonna be running into like a true physical barrier where like you physically cannot hit the buttons fast enough. You never run into that. It's all reading. You might feel that you're like running out of stamina when you play, if you like especially in like dense sections, but that's not a problem with like how weak you are or like physical strength. It's about your poor technique that comes from not being able to read the pattern in time. So it may be useful to watch gameplay on like YouTube or whatever, like Nico, whatever, whatever BMS gameplay is on. See gameplay of like top players playing the game. Watch streams. You can also like see what settings they use and how like you can mimic them. But when you watch them, you can read alongside them, like pretend like you're playing it as you watch it. Just in your head, of course. And yeah, that will help you train like your muscle memory kind of, because you're thinking of how to play the pattern without actually having to play the pattern. You can also record your own gameplay, even like stream yourself if you can. That's also a really good option because you'll be able to watch someone that has the identical like settings as you in the same skin as you, so it's like 1-to-1 match. So yeah, it's a reading game. On the topic of reading, there are two types of reading. vertical reading, which is the first one, which you don't is bad, and horizontal reading, which is the second one, which is good. What horizontal reading is it's thinking of each row of notes, or like that's on the same timing, as like thinking like as chords. Um, so imagine you reading this from bottom to top. It'd be you'd read the first line as like these two notes, and then second line is this one note. It just read like horizontally, like this, instead of vertically, which is the second one. This is the most intuitive way, is where you split each hand into different sides of the play field. So you have your left hand on this side and your right hand on this side. This is bad because it will hurt your timing and will just be harder to read in general. So focus on trying to do this. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's the gist of it. Alright, here we go. Sectioning chodes. So what you want to do is this is a little bit more advanced, but if you have a pool of chodes that you like kind of like grind, of course you don't want to play the same chode over and over again, but you have a pool of chode you play each session that you want to clear, right? So when you play those chodes, you kind of you might do this already, but you kind of want to split those chodes into sections. So what I mean by that is that let's take Endless Dream for example, right? So in Endless Dream, it's mostly gonna be chord stream like this, but if you haven't played it, you know about the chord section like at near the end, and let's say you do really well in the chord stream, you have 100% on engage, and then you just mess up the gotchi section, and then now you failed the song. Well, next time you play it, you should be thinking, okay, I'm gonna focus on the gotchi section next time. Oh, not focus, but like think of it, like remove it ahead of time so that it doesn't catch me by surprise, right? So be ready to play the next like the sections that you failed on previously. And by sectioning off chodes, you can also say that even though you did fail the song at the end, you did pretty well on the chord stream, which is the main part of the song anyways. So you did overall you did pretty well on the song. It's just the one section of the chode that you struggled on, and that's the one you should focus on improving on. Alright, so here's a more mindset side of the tips. Positive reinforcement. So when you play, you want to have positive emotions to keep yourself motivated. If you learn about growth and fixed mindset, it's not actually real, but it actually doesn't help. But it's kind of similar. Having a positive attitude when you play is very important for not just having fun in this game, but like also improving. Might be a little bit cringe though, but it's actually true. You might have to take breaks even, if you're like really frustrated, I guess. Try avoid self-deprecating comments. It's really common. You should try to like think more constructive, more positive instead of negative, basically. And yeah, you can look back and see that you've improved in like some way. So know that you're always improving even if you run into a wall. So that brings us to the next section, which is motivation. And motivation is important because at some point, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter like how good you're like naturally gifted you are at the game, you will run into a wall, and the wall will feel bad, especially if you're improving really fast. So the number one tip to overcoming this wall is staying motivated. So just remember that it's impossible to never improve if you keep playing, and it's not a race, it's not a competition. It will take time. So yeah, you'll climb out. And with that being said, that's it. Credit to 2DXLWG and W's Guide. Credit to these people, pretty cool people. Um, yeah, the people say that BMS is hard, but it's like hard to get into, but it's not really hard. You just need to you basically need to do a lot of googling and troubleshooting and all that, while asking questions. Yeah, but good thing I did the googling questions for you, so you're in luck. And that's basically it. Um, if you if you're just watching this video and not actually following the beginning, make sure you give it a try. Give BMS a try. It's really fun. Um, yeah, thank you for watching.